Hi folks, so often in the comments to my videos comes up a concept of speed of weapons. Now I have spoken about this specific point in previous videos, but I want to repeat it because I think it's an important point to make, and I know that since I said it before I've got many new subscribers who may not have seen my older videos. Now I guess for those of you who have played computer games or role-playing games, there's this idea that one weapon can move faster than another. Okay, so there is a fundamental truth to that. It is a real thing. Clearly I can accelerate the tip of a light, well-balanced sword quicker than I can accelerate the tip of a sledgehammer. Okay? And that's simply a question of inertia and what my muscles are able to accelerate in a given amount of time. So yes, that's true. However, there is another element to hitting a person with a weapon that's not only a matter of how quickly I can accelerate the tip of my lever, whatever that lever would be, whether it's an axe or a katana or a rapier or whatever. Okay? The speed it takes for me to hit someone is not only dictated by this movement, it's also dictated by the time it takes me to travel close enough to hit them. If someone is my opponent, and assuming I'm not sneaking up on an enemy and essentially assassinating them or stabbing them in the back, assuming that they are fighting me and they know that they are fighting me, I have to cover distance to a place where I can actually lay my blade on them. Okay? Now, that actually takes more time. It takes more time for my feet to cover distance across the ground, for me to run or walk or step, passing step, lunge, whatever the motion is. It takes more time for me to travel than for my weapon tip to arrive at target. Okay? That's a fundamental truth of fencing times, is that the time that your weapon can take to do something is, in almost all situations, quicker than the time it takes for me to actually arrive at the place whereby I can hit them. It's no use me walking up to a person and then swinging my weapon at them, because by that point they will have already attacked me. Okay? I have to cover the distance as I make my attack. Okay? Or close into distance somehow with a parry or a defensive movement so they attack me, and then I can hit them in the time of my hand. For anybody who studies George Silver, you'll get pretty much what I'm talking about, that there is a time of the hand, a time of the foot, a time of the body, and then you can add those things together. It can be time of the hand plus time of the foot, time of the hand plus time of the body plus time of the foot, and so on. Okay? Now, reeling this back to where I want to go in this video, there is an idea that a weapon like a katana can be quicker than a weapon like a cavalry saber. Okay, let's just put these next to each other. Look at the blade lengths. So the cavalry saber is significantly longer than the katana. Okay, there seems to be a perception amongst many people that the shorter, perhaps more nimble weapon can be quicker at attacking someone than the longer, slightly more cumbersome weapon. Okay? This is a fundamentally wrong assumption. Just because, and let's assume that the katana is quicker in my hand than the cavalry saber is. I'm not going to say that it is. In actual fact, they're very, very similar. But let's assume that the katana is very nimble, very light, very quick in my hand, and the cavalry saber is very cumbersome. Okay? But the cavalry saber is longer. Now, yes, I might be able to move this weapon quicker. However, I still have to travel with my feet towards the person to get close enough to hit them. Now, how fast my weapon is, whether it's a katana or anything else, has no relation to how quick I can move my feet. Okay? The speed of my feet is neither increased nor reduced by the speed of my weapon, or lack of speed of my weapon. Now, with the longer, more cumbersome weapon, yes, it might be slower to move across a given distance. However, it's longer. so it can reach much further. That means I have to travel less distance to hit my opponent with this weapon than I do with this. So really that's the crux of this video. I'm not going to say that weapon X is always quicker than weapon Y. However, there is a fundamental logic fail or a misunderstanding of how fighting works when people assume that a weapon that's quick in the hand is always quicker to attack than the weapon which is longer and slower in the hand, because length has a speed of its own thanks to the time it takes for your feet to traverse a distance. Okay, so I want you to think about that. And lastly, I'll just say, this does of course relate to any of you who've done role-playing games where you have, I believe, initiative or speed modifiers for certain weapons. And I remember seeing that a dagger or a knife was pretty much the fastest weapon. But again, this falls into the trap of the logic fail, because whilst a dagger, a little knife, might be quicker for me to twizzle in my hand than a sword, with the sword I can hit someone from 6 feet away. Whereas with the dagger, I have to travel right the way up to them to stab them with the dagger. So in actual fact, a person with a dagger against a person with a sword is always going to be at a huge disadvantage, because whilst the dagger might be able to move quicker, the person with the sword has a huge amount of reach advantage, and reach equals speed in this context. Okay, I hope that's clear. Thank you.